Hey guys, welcome to Market Uncharted. GC here. Today we are going to discuss a little bit more about Bitcoin, what's happening the last few weeks, and the raising of new questions regarding Bitcoin, which is basically, will Bitcoin be able to survive a possible market crash in 2021 or further? And is it an inflation hedge or is it actually challenging gold? So these are the questions that we are going to see today, plus a little bit of more market news regarding Bitcoin, a new thing called the enterprise FOMO regarding Bitcoin, and we'll go from there. I hope you like this video. Please subscribe our channel for more content, but let's just start it. So first of all, what comes after a market crash, right? And this is important to check both Fed balance sheet and the central bank in Europe to understand what happens. A market crash is basically a really huge inflow of money, which we have all-time highs in both Europe and the Fed. And by raising the amount of money available in the market, this really flows down to important assets. And take it or leave it, the truth is Bitcoin is becoming one of the most important assets in the world, considered for reserve value, especially in the last few days for inflation reserve as well. So here you can see the Fed's balance sheet all-time high, the ECB balance sheet all-time high. You see this is a scary graphic to see, but the truth is when you have a market crash, you have an inflow of money in the market as well to put the market back up. And the truth is what happened to the S&P 500 when you have the last market crash in March 2020. It went down 35% in a matter of weeks. It was a really huge decrease. Since then, the truth is it already recovered. We have now all-time highs, but it was basically because of the injections of money by the Fed, which is the dollars that are circulating in the market. 40% of those dollars were printed out during last year. So you can see why the markets are on all-time high. And what happened to Bitcoin? Truth is, Bitcoin had a similar graph. So when you ask if this can be a reserve of value and if Bitcoin can survive a crash, the truth is Bitcoin is only 12 years old, is really young, and we don't have that many market crash in this period of time. What happened was in 2008, and Bitcoin was created after the crash as a response of that crash itself. So the thing is, you see here on March 2020, Bitcoin also lost around 55%, so even more than S&P 500. But the question is, what happens after, right? Because Bitcoin indeed crashed, but immediately recovered, and recovered how much? 1,480%. So you can see here that this is the last piece of information. We don't have that many data to say that Bitcoin can survive a market crash, but the last one, it kind of did well, in my opinion. Reach out to $1 trillion market capitalization. This is amazing. It only took 12 years for Bitcoin to reach this mark. In comparison, for example, with Microsoft, it took 45 years to reach the same 1 trillion market capitalization. So kudos to Bitcoin. This week has reached $50,000 one coin, amazing mark. But again, it's really difficult to keep up with the Jonas regarding Bitcoin, because the truth is, during the same week it reached out for the first time $50,000, already reached a new all-time high of $56,000. Really amazing. Now, what is also important to understand is it an inflation hedge? Is it really a challenging gold in the last few years? And the truth is, gold since the peak of August last year have been on the lateralization kind of downtrend, and Bitcoin amazing uptrend. And the truth is, with more and more money coming out to the markets, Bitcoin and the people, it's the people's money made by the people, and it's inflow of cash in Bitcoin. So To be honest with you, especially in case of the United States, and Elon Musk just said it, I am completely agree with him. Holding dollars doesn't make that much sense in the last few years, and in the future more so. So having Bitcoin as your digital money makes all the sense in the world. You can argue if it's too much inflated, maybe it can reach 100,000, 200,000. We saw also analysts last week saying they can reach during the year of 2002 to 4 million. I'm not going that road. I'm bullish in Bitcoin, of course. I also advise you to take a look of what's happening in the Tether investigation, but that's up to you to do your own research. I'm also holding Bitcoin and gold. I'm not that drastic in the sense that I can see the value, the real value on both sides. Gold is actual money, it's real money. Bitcoin is a digital response to what's happening in the governments and the Fed and the ECB. So this people's money made by people. But I think what's happening is that Bitcoin is taking over, is eating out gold completely. You can see here the gold Bitcoin ratio, and the truth is all-time lows. So I can see that the society is moving out from holding physical to Bitcoin, which you can take everyone you want, is uncorruptible, no one can touch it. There is no possibility of what you see, for example, now in silver on pressing down by paper while we are buying the physical silver. None of that is possible in Bitcoin. So that's also a strong point for holders of Bitcoin. And I think the last 2 years have been amazing for the holders of Bitcoin. Everyone is happy. And the truth is, it can actually be a real challenge to gold. But in my opinion, we can have both. 5% in each doesn't get any harm. But I'm really, really bullish in Bitcoin. And also, this is like the enterprise FOMO that you've been seeing, like more mainstream firms are accepting Bitcoin. I just put here a few market news. Morgan Stanley may bet on Bitcoin. Tesla already bought 1.5 billion. JP Morgan, that was one of the biggest against competitors and say that Bitcoin didn't make any sense, now is advising. You have also the movement of Jack Dorsey and Jay-Z open up a Bitcoin trust. Apple having the possibility of paying in Bitcoin. MasterCard, Bank New York of Mellon, one of the oldest banks in the world, having custody of Bitcoin. So this is something that you can see like it's happening. Also, payment company Square recently just acquired 50 million of Bitcoin. Like Mass Mutual, and this is important, right? Like old school Mass Mutual fund with 169 years old, also bought 100 million in Bitcoin. The second richest man in Mexico just said that he has 10% of his portfolio in Bitcoin. So this is really, really important. Also, the CEO of Microstrategy, Michael Saylor, explained why he bet so much in Bitcoin and how much you think. After all of his investments, he just pointed out that he just completed a 1 billion debt offering, which means they can now buy another 1 billion in Bitcoin. So you can see how the FOMO is taking over the Wall Street, the S&P 500 companies. They want to really be invested in Bitcoin, at least a percentage of their portfolio, of their cash, instead of just be completely in cash liquid. They can also invest in Bitcoin, which is becoming an asset because it goes up and down in value. And the truth is, in the last year, it makes sense. Also important, as I said, Tesla bought 1.5 billion in Bitcoin, but the truth is, after that, we have been seeing something different. It's like they are going separate ways. Tesla is losing a little bit of market capitalization in comparison with Bitcoin. And this is important because after the announcement of Tesla, the truth is Bitcoin skyrocketed in price and Tesla kind of fell down a little bit. You can say that, of course, the markets are also, after going on all-time highs, are taking a break and kind of had a small short-term downtrend. But this is important because it can also be either Tesla shareholders taking profits, or they were not just that happy with the decision of Elon Musk. And another historic day happened last week. The first ETF in Canada of Bitcoin, 2 days or 3 days after you have also the first Bitcoin Trust ETF in America. So really important news coming out. And this is for me the most important one of the most important ones. Shout out to Blockport for showing this breaking news, which was Miami becomes the first Bitcoin municipal in the United States where employees can be paid in Bitcoin, that we can pay our taxes and fees in Bitcoin. So fully agree with this news, really amazing. Also, Grayscale, which is another S&P 500 company, is investing and increasing its holdings in Bitcoin. Important for Symbiotic in Germany, which becomes the first publicly traded company in Germany to hedge against euro currency devaluation with Bitcoin. So you can start to see what's happening here. Of course, Bitcoin continues to hit $1 trillion market capitalization. Shout out to Crypto Maniacs to provide all of this cool information. And again, if you want to invest in Bitcoin, by no means this is financial advisors. I'm just putting out there, this is some of the cryptocurrencies exchanges that you have out there. I personally use Binance, but I already used in the past Coinbase and Kraken. And if you want to also have another way to be exposed to Bitcoin, but not indirectly, these are just a few of other companies that have large positions in Bitcoin. We already talked about Microstrategy, Grayscale. You have also PayPal, Square, Riot Blockchain, and Advanced Micro Device. So just to have a summary of this video, Bitcoin is only 10 years old and not enough data to make really huge conclusions, but the reality is so far seems hedging against inflation. We can see a general acceptance, institutional FOMO, and it can be also a diversification tool. I have in my portfolio at least 10% in Bitcoin, 5% in gold and silver. So this is just some other tool that you can use to diversify risk. Don't forget, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. Execution is everything. But thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you like it. Please subscribe our channel for more content. And don't forget, just like the markets, we will not rest.